What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's the one, the only. It is Happy Boy Friday, Scott Savage. Scott, what's going on?
That's right. Friday headed into the weekend, and well, I don't want to talk about it in too much detail because we will have more thoughts on that later. But Diablo, everybody, kind of a small, unheard of game, but I'm having some fun.
Yep, never heard of it. Dude, there's so much in the world of games right now going on. We are very busy. We've got a lot to cover. You guys are talking about Diablo 4 this week. Layers of Fear, the newest edition, 2023 edition. I've got Nocturnal coming up on this week's episode. My review dropped last week. So there's a bunch. Oh, and just wait till you see what's coming. I tell you. Wow. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we've got a lot in store, so make sure you always stick around. You can join us live, though, each and every day over on youtube.com/InsideTheGameOfficial, as well as twitch.tv/TheOfficialITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. Thanks to our friends over at the Fired Up Network. You can catch us on podcast services all around the world. And, of course, those TV streaming networks everywhere, Scott, from Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, and a whole lot more. So let's get into today's show because we do.
Oh no, we lost your audio. Lost your audio very quickly into that. These are quite regular technical issues we have with seemingly no resolution, but
it's so weird, isn't it? It's just
you're back.
Yeah, it's just weird to see how it goes. But we got a hot one today, Scott, because there's so much going on. Be very careful, because one of the biggest games coming out next week, Final Fantasy XVI, has already started to leak across the internet, so be wary. Oh, don't get spoiled in that one. Xbox.
You haven't even told me about that one.
Yeah, we won't be talking about that yet. Xbox won't be making any games for Xbox One anymore, and Skull and Bones beta is not coming to console. It got cut.
No.
We'll be talking about that one too. Man, I'm just more and more concerns about that one. But let's get into it. Be warned, Final Fantasy XVI copies have gone out early, and spoilers are already appearing online. This is David over at PSU. Final Fantasy XVI is now only a week away at time of writing, and reports are beginning to appear that some retailers have sold copies early, and some of those were lucky enough to grab it early have started posting photos and details about the game. At least for now, it doesn't appear that any major spoilers have made it online, but with a week until release, it's only a matter of time. And of course, we know how fans go, Scott. They just don't care sometimes, and the spoilers just get bombarded across the internet, and it ruins it for others, man. So
no, everybody wants to be the guy in the know. Hey, let me show you something, and very excitedly, but
Sure.
It gets those spoilers out into the ether where you or I could see it, and we don't want to. Particular.
It blows my mind that the retailers themselves are the ones that are leaking. Go ahead.
I have a question if that is indeed the case. A personal experience of mine decades ago now.
Yeah.
But with Xbox games in the 360 era, the piracy rings were very big. And a lot of the excuses, if you were caught online, you go, well, the local guy sold it to me. And that was often not the case.
Mm-hmm. I am surprised though that they are out there already. It's unfortunate that people are gonna take to this though and start just blasting with, spoiler stuff, and it's just so many people have been waiting so long for this title. Don't ruin it now. We're a week out. Let everybody experience it when it drops, and then look for those who are about to review the game. Like, that's where you should be really kind of keeping an eye on things if you're questioning whether or not this game's for you. But dude, it's if you have to question whether or not it's for you, check out the demo. The demo's out right now on PS5, so there's that to get into as well, right? So I checked out the demo. It was cool. I don't want to keep talking about it because spoilers are spoilers. Just stay away from them. Be careful. They are heading out there right now. But let's get into what Xbox is up to next, because Scott, they said it, is done. Mike Straw over at Insider Gamer says Microsoft is done making Xbox One games. He knew it was only a matter of time. We're starting to see that shift transform over now into Xbox Series X and S. And here it comes. 2.5 years after the launch. Man, it's been 2.5 years already, Scott. Oh no, I lost your audio now. Uh-oh. Looks like we lost Scott. Maybe Scott can bounce out and come right back. This is what interwebs today is going on. But 2.5 years after the launch of the Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft has finally decided to move away from its last generation console, the Xbox One. Scott, 2.5 years already.
Yeah, it feels like it hasn't been that long. But then again, time really flies. And we've kind of been saying the same thing and over again, though. At what point do you leave the past in the past?
No, absolutely. In an interview with Axios, head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, said that the studio is no longer focused on the Xbox One. Quote, "We've moved on to Gen 9, end quote, Booty said. Should players want to stick to playing games on the Xbox One, but have access to newer games, they will have the option to play them via Microsoft's cloud gaming service." Well, there is that option as well, right, Scott? This is one of the reasons why they got into the whole cloud system, is it gives the opportunity to those who can't afford the next Xbox Series X and S to at least get into the newer games via the cloud. Now, granted, the cloud is a little bit different and doesn't work well for everybody, but it is another option.
Yeah, my internet particular is not a good destination for the cloud, but it's a possibility for some. I was a big holdover from the 360 era. I kept my 360 well into the life cycle of the Xbox One.
Yep.
So I can understand that a lot of people will want to just hold out.
A lot of people do hold out, right? A, they can't afford it, or B, they just don't want to jump into that next generation of consoles yet because they are so busy and wrapped up. And the games drop every day. It's not like there's something that they're already playing or looking to play that they just haven't made it to. Like, look at your backlog and look at my backlog of games. It just never ends, right? Like, we do this all the time for for the show. This is what we do. We review games, and we still can't make it every single game we want to play. It's just we have to pick and choose what we want to be able to get to, and it's just one of those. Man, there's so many developed games on a daily basis, so many new studios popping up each and every day. It's just one of those things, right? Quote, "That's how we're gonna maintain support," end quote, Booty said. Well, it's always expected to happen when new consoles hit the market. It's a major moment for a studio when they stop focusing on an older generation. For Xbox Game Studios, with the focus of the newer Xbox Series X and S platforms, it makes sure newer games in development, like Fable, are geared solely for current gen experiences as opposed to dragging past platforms along for their ride. Scott, this also gives the ability now to jump in, focus on one platform, and not have to worry about scaling back for the other.
Yeah.
Right?
That's something that was the big concern to me, is if the longer we hold on to the past consoles, especially if you group in the Nintendo Switch with that, it's limiting what you can get away with for the same title.
Yeah.
So this will hopefully just allow everybody to break forward.
Absolutely. Let them focus on the current, I will call it current gen now, right? With the Series X and S. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
and not
Gen
be split
9.
and divided. Crazy to think of,
That
isn't
just
it?
sounds kind of, it
Kinda
sounds like a weird way of, I understand, but is it truly 9? What was Gen 1?
I don't know, man.
Was that Atari? Was that the very first Atari you can bring home?
Man, Atari. Yo, I had that console.
I really like the 2600.
Yo, speaking of weird games, dude, Skull and Bones beta gets cut for consoles, now PC only. Did this game just end already? Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming, playtesters who are in the Skull and Bones Discord have reported that Insider Gaming that the next beta playtest is for PC only. Update, a developer from Skull and Bones Discord, has said that the test, quote, was never intended to be for consoles, end quote, despite players being given the opportunity to sign up via PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S. Scott, this was showcased in one of the most awkward situations when it came to the Ubisoft Forward just last week. They brought out a band, they played a song called Skull and Bones to reveal a beta. And everybody's just like, what is going on with this game already? Another beta? How about just put the game out? Just at this point,
Yeah, let it.
It's just gonna die anyways, isn't it?
Well, sink or swim, right?
Yeah, it's going. Dude, the Kraken has already taken this ship down. And I don't think it's coming back up. It's unfortunate. I was looking forward to Skull and Bones. But we're now into a decade of development. And it hasn't hit well with the betas that people have been talking about. We won't say much to our experiences, but it is one of those things. I do want to play it. I do want to jump in. The co-op, oh man, there's so many things. I can't remember what I can say and can't say. So I'm treading water. I'm treading that fire water.
I just want all that labor, all that effort that's been put into it to go to something hopefully positive. But in any case, it's almost excruciatingly long. It's been dragged out.
I feel bad for the development team working on the game, right? This is one of those things. I think it's just going to come out and it's not going to connect with everybody. This isn't what we wanted, I don't think. When you have Sea of Thieves that does so well, when you had Black Flag, which was an incredible title, and they tried to just port this over, and then it goes back to the drawing board, and then it comes back out and goes back to the drawing board, and then this, that, another beta, another beta, another beta, another beta, another beta, another beta. I'm like, they just keep going, and I'm questioning, is it worth it? Now they do have, they have a contract with somebody. I can't remember what, oh man,
was it the Singapore government?
Yes, that's what it was. And this is why they're forced to continue on with this game and haven't canceled it. There's an agreement with Singapore that they are locked down with, that they cannot get rid of this game. And at what point do you just go, here it is? Because we also heard too from the developers themselves saying that there isn't enough content in this game. I'm like, how after 10 years do you not have enough content in the game to keep players going?
Signs of a much bigger issue, and I think this is also adds to that evidence. With is it a management issue where people are giving out the wrong messages? Somebody has to know, surely, if this was not intended for console. How did that happen? Can we get some transparency? I think that's what we need out of Ubisoft.
Oh, that's not going to happen. It really isn't. At the end of the day, unfortunately, as much as I do want to still check out the game, I think I wonder how long we'll play it for, Scott. Right? Because it is you can party up to with 3 people, I think it is, and away you go, have a good time. But you all have your own ship. It's not like Sea of Thieves where you're jumping in on the same ship and you kind of manage the ship. It's you manage your fleet, I manage mine, and so and so forth. And it's just, oh man, I'm so scared for Skull and Bones. I really wanted it to be good. I like that it's more of a realistic approach than when I customize my ship. Like, man, their options are going to be incredible. But we will see. Speaking of troubled waters, though, Scott, 343 will continue to work on Halo, but other studios may get involved.
Well, they're doing some sort of shakeup over there.
They've got to do something at this point, right? Matt Booty, once again, dude must have been in 1,000 interviews because he's getting referenced left, right, and center today, Scott. Chris Scullion over at VGC. 343 Industries will continue to work on the Halo series going forward, but other studios may get involved in development, it's been suggested. In an interview, once again with Axios, Microsoft's game studio chief Matt Booty explained, dude, what a name, Matt Booty. He's been around for Xbox forever too. Explained that the team working on Halo Infinite is now notably different from the one that started on the project, and that the new team is well suited to continue taking the series forward. Quote, excuse me, I feel confident in the leadership team, but the team that got us here is probably not the same team is going to take us forward. End quote. Booty said. Scott, what was he gonna say? This is where I get into, okay, let's take it, let's back this up. Let's get real for a second. No, the team sucks and the game isn't any good. Like, he's not gonna say that. He will never say that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course he's gonna say he's confident in the team. It doesn't matter at this point whether or not you're confident or not confident. The proof is in the pudding, Scott, that the game just isn't hitting with players.
I think that's really it. Yeah, I don't want him to go and shame that team or you know, kind of put a black stain on these people's futures, these
Not at all.
resumes. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge, I think you put it best, the proof is in the pudding. And getting, well, usually it's a problem of too many chefs in the kitchen, but in this case, we're getting a couple extras to see if they can help out.
Well,
I don't think that's a bad maneuver.
No, I think a fresh team might be the best move moving forward for 3-4-3, right? So many people have left the studio that we're kind of up in arms going, where's this? Who's doing this now? And what's going to happen here? Maybe a fresh team. But what do you think of the opportunity of other teams coming in to work on Halo to help rebuild what we've all kind of grown up with and loved for so long, to see it taken back a step when it comes to Halo? They've gone for this live service model, Scott. How many times do we keep talking about how it just doesn't work?
Yeah, I'm not really sure who I would want in the operating room to fix this one.
id Software.
I would give
Calling it.
Well, that's a very solid choice. I'll take id Software working on literally any game.
Right? Like, if you want to, man, I'm
they
telling you.
They could produce a hockey game for me.
Could you imagine a Doom hockey game? I'm just saying.
Oh, there's potential there.
Right?
Oh, boy.
That's not a body check. That's obliteration right there.
Was it a NBA Street or NFL
Yeah.
Street? There was one of them that we needed a hockey version of that.
Yeah, didn't they have NHL Street? I don't know. It's been a while.
No,
EA.
I can't remember.
Yeah. But I think getting fresh eyes on the game is the best move going forward. Bringing it into a new team. I don't know. We've been hoping that something would come around from this. It just doesn't seem to be connecting with anybody. The community is not what it once was back in the day when we all grew up with Halo. It was a beloved franchise where everybody, like, you couldn't go wrong, right? As much as it had ups and downs coming out in the last recent years with it, it just never connected. Even when they launched the multiplayer, everybody's like, whoa, this is like multiplayer of last year, of yesteryears kind of thing. And then it just completely died.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough content to keep it going. That games of service was not fulfilled. And that's really unfortunate. I'm wondering if, even if we do get new DNA in the game, everybody fixes it up and it comes together, is anybody going to care? Or has it been too long? Well, I think of myself in the Overwatch 2 scenario, and I think, well, it's just too late for me.
Well, that's just it. Is it just too little too late? And I think it's been too little too late for Halo for a long time. And maybe 343 should just work on a brand new IP. There's a reason why Bungie left, right? Bungie's like, I don't want to do any more Halo. We want to create something new. Well, then we get into Destiny 2, and now rumors are going around that they're looking at another new IP. And because after a while, it's just studio burnout. We're working on the same thing over and over again, right?
Kind of funny in the case of Bungie, though, because now they're pulling out Marathon again, one of their old IPs. So, something new, but something old.
Something new, but something fresh, right? Is what that is. A new spin, new hardware, new gear, new tech, new this, new. Where
I believe it's genre shifted as well. It's a different genre entirely of game.
Well, that's interesting to think of as well. So opportunities, but we'll see where 343 lands. Can they land back on their feet? We hope so, right? We've loved 343 for so long. We never wished ill will on the studio. We just want them to hopefully figure things out so that the community can come back and enjoy a great game. Dude, what we played was fun, but it just doesn't have the staying power at the end of the day, right?
Oh, I didn't even come back for the co-op, actually. And that was something that I said I would, but by then it was too late.
It was piecemealed out, though.
As time goes on, I think I agree with you more and more. Halo's not infinite, after all.
Nah, I called it a long time ago. I'm just saying. But yeah,
you did.
Hopefully they can get it resolved, right? Because the younger generation didn't grow up with Halo like we grew up with Halo. So we have that nostalgia vision. And these other people that are growing up now just don't have that. So you're introducing Halo to a whole new generation that needs to click with it. And if they're not clicking, it's not going to stick around. Kind of like Redfall, Scott. Microsoft's not planning to shut down Redfall Studio Arcane Austin, thankfully, because they had one flop. Let's cut them some slack. Tom Ivanhoe or a VGC. But again, a bad game is a bad game, Scott. So let's,
that's true. But at the same point, Arcane Austin makes a lot of things we really like.
Yes, and we'll get into those as well. That's according to the Xbox studio boss. Once again, Matt Booty, who's on a spree today, who was asked by Axio if the studio will remain open following Redfall's disappointing launch. Quote, "That's the plan right now," end quote. He responded, quote, they are hard at work on updates and continued content for Redfall, end quote. I don't think they should continue on Redfall. I think they should just pack it up and move on.
Yeah, I think it's quite depressing if you're one of those developers working on this. And although I would understand you'd want to pull that wreck out of the water.
Yeah,
still thinking of Skull and Bones, but
yeah, right. But following several delays, the first major Xbox exclusive from Bethesda released last month with various technical issues and reviewed poorly, generating an average score of 56 on Xbox Series X and S and 53 on PC for Metacritic. Scott, Redfall received its first major patch on Monday, delivering incremental improvements to gameplay, combat, AI, and all kinds of stuff. Quote, "We're grateful to see that millions of you have explored really? And the quaint but dangerous open world of Redfall," said the studio. "We recognize that we still have work to do, and we plan to address as much as we can as quickly as we can." Scott, they don't need to shut down, man. Take a look at the repertoire of other titles, right? Deathloop, just a couple years back, came out. Didn't click for me, but it was still a good game. Like, that was a great game. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
They will be fine. Oh, Mike joins us over here on Twitch and says they will be fine. I think he's referring to 343 and Bungie. I think they'll be fine in the end there, Mike, but I don't think they should work on more Halo. That's just me. I think they should move on.
I feel the same situation here with Arcane.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Arcane Austin will be okay, but how much time do you spend in the quagmire that is Redfall? Maybe too long already.
No, absolutely, right? When you came off of Deathloop, and even going before that with Dishonored 1 and 2, stealth staples now within our industry. Man, one of my most beloved series is Dishonored, and I just recently went back to play it again, and I don't go back to play old games, Scott. Like, that's for me. I'm like, once it's done, I'm on to the next thing. What are we playing next, kind of thing. Here we go. I'm like, no, I need that stealth feel. I'm going back, and I went back to Dishonored, started from 1 all over again, and I am in it for hours, and I'm having a blast in between all my review stuff. But it's a ton of fun, man, and I don't think they should waste any more time on Redfall. Unfortunately, take your lumps and move on. It just didn't work out, right? Where Deathloop was a different twist. It was nice to see them branch out and go in a different direction, and it worked. Like, really, it did connect with a lot of people, so it has worked, but Redfall just didn't. And that's just the way it goes. And sometimes there's nothing you can do to save that and just move on.
I'm wondering if Redfall was a project brought to Arcane that maybe Arcane wasn't the best fit for, because we talk about these stealth games, and even in Dishonored or Deathloop rather, there's the DNA you can see.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that is present in Redfall at all, but I would like to see Arcane Austin put in their own space to allow them to do what they do best, which is, in my opinion, stealth.
Yep. No, without a doubt. Scott, Illumination chief denies animated Zelda movie reports. I don't know where that came from. This is Drew Taylor, the rap. Yeah, earlier this year, the Super Mario Brothers movie produced by Illumination and Nintendo was released theatrically, and made $1.3 billion over at the box office. It made an absolute ton of money. People are just clamoring for a Zelda movie. Why can't we get this? This is my biggest question.
Oh, it's too. My issue for not wanting it is kind of silly, because I think it's too important. It's too much of it's a holy piece. You can't desecrate it at all, being Zelda. But at the same time, people would have said the same about Mario. In fact, a whole lot more people probably would have said that about Mario, and it worked just fine. Even with Chris Pratt.
Yeah, of all things, right? So
I'll play Link.
There's opportunity here to do this. I'm surprised that they're not going to. And if Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has done so well, why wouldn't you adapt something over? We're starting to see this cross between television, movies, and games, and becoming a good crossover, not just some cheesy takeover that didn't work, right? This actually works. And with the Mario movie, being another staple, following after The Last of Us doing so well on television. Now there's opportunity. People love Zelda. You give me an animated Zelda movie, I'm in.
It'd be very easy for me to play Link because he doesn't have a voice.
Well, there
as
is
you like
that
to bring
as-
up often.
dude, he doesn't speak a word. It blows my mind. But Scott, we do have a game announcement and updates for today. What do we have?
We have an update coming to Hi-Fi Rush, and this is a free update that adds new game modes, and it's coming next month. One of the year's best and most literal surprises, Hi-Fi Rush, is getting a free update that keeps the beat going. This is a little bit of PR. It keeps the beat going with the
Very
addition of new modes and content. The Arcade Challenge update hits on July 5th and adds 2 new game modes accessible after players have completed the main game. I have not. You'll access these features by using a new arcade cabinet that appears in the hideout. The first new mode is BPM Rush, in which players fight waves of enemies as the beats per minute gradually rise with each level, eventually topping out at 200 beats per minute. The second new mode is Power Up Tower Up, a remixed version of Rhythm Tower that tasks players to take a completely underpowered Chai and gradually build him with randomized upgrades by climbing floors and tackling waves of foes.
Cool. Sounds cool,
interesting to
dude.
me.
Sounds very good. We also have 2 games out today. What do we have?
We have F1 23, and that's on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. And Park Beyond is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC.
Which looks cool. I want to check that one out. But we'll have to check that out another time, just like you can check us out on Monday when we're back. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.